Very good afternoon. You're watching Headlines today. As we speak, 12 states, 121 constituencies are going to polls in the fifth phase of elections, the biggest round in this ninth phase of elections, which is lasting a full month. By the time this day ends, over 16.5 crore voters would have cast their franchise across the country, across these 12 states as well. I'd like to introduce to you at this point of time my colleague T.S. Sudhir, editor South, who's joining us from Karnataka, who's going to give us the lowdown on exactly what's going on in Karnataka. We are also going to be joined by Pratibha Raman. Brisk polling being conducted in Karnataka. All 28 seats in Karnataka are going to polls today, what has been seen as a bipolar contest. T.S., it's over to you where Karnataka is concerned.
Well, Preeti, thank you very much. Karnataka, an extremely important elections. Remember, it was touted as the gateway to South India for the BJP when it came to power here in 2008. Now, will the BJP be able to replicate in 2009 when it won 19 seats? At the moment, the Congress riding high on the performance in the assembly elections in Karnataka last year when it won a majority here in the Vidhan Sabha. And whether it will be able to actually play up the Siddaramaiah factor, it will be a referendum on the performance of the Siddaramaiah government. Of course, the main high-profile contest taking place in the Bangalore South constituency. Nandan Nilekani of the Congress pitted against Anant Kumar of the BJP. And this is what Nandan Nilekani had to say to my colleague Rohini Swami.
Well, I think there's a great desire for change, and I think, as you know, 18 years of non-performance is being, you know how people are reacting. But the fact that the voter turnout is so high is very good. I think our people, especially our young, are very keen to participate in our parliamentary democracy, and I'm very happy about that.
Excited over this, last time also I got the highest number of votes among all the Congress candidates in Karnataka. So there is a full exuberance and confidence among all the Congress workers, all cadres, that and also among the electorate that they will vote with the maximum and votes, and also I will win absolutely.
At this point in time is B.S. Yediyurappa, BJP strongman here, who's just voted. Sir, can you first show us the ink mark, which is So there he goes. He's just voted and come out right now. Sir, I'm not going to ask you whom you voted for. That's the obvious question. But what is your chances here, sir? How do you look at your chances?
I'm going to win with a very good margin, because Shivamogga development work, people are happy in each house, or they are going to support me. And also entire state atmosphere is very good, and we are going to win minimum 15 seats. We are trying up to 20. But definitely we are going to win 15 seats.
As I asked you sometime before, is this Narendra Modi wave or a B.S. Yediyurappa? What is the wave?
Narendra Modi wave, BJP wave, and our Yediyurappa's wave, our good work, when the Chief Minister has achievements, everything will count in.
Joining me now from Bangalore is my colleague Pratibha Raman. Pratibha, everyone talking there of a Narendra Modi wave. Of course, B.S. Yediyurappa had spoken about an Yediyurappa wave. I just saw a tweet by Anant Kumar asking people to go out and vote. What is the sense that you're getting on the ground, especially among the first-time voters who are actually landing up at the polling stations in Bangalore in pretty large numbers?
Well, today there are two questions cropping up in these first-time voters' minds, because they, on one hand, will have to look at the right candidate who can actually look into the local issues of their constituency versus a national leader who can steer the way forward for the country. So these two questions playing up in their minds, and the voters are left completely confused at the end of the day. Whereas in every constituency, if you look at it, it is a major fight between the Congress as well as the BJP. The BJP riding on the Modi wave, while the Congress stating that the ruling government here in Karnataka is Congress, so we'll have to look into the Congress work. In fact, I'm in Bangalore North, which is a constituency which forms a major lot of the population. There are at least about 25 lakh voters here and 8.5 lakh young voters. Right. So we'll have to wait and see how the Aam Aadmi Party will actually look into these young voters and probably eat into the BJP as well as the Congress votes. But at the end of the day, the first-time voters will actually play a major role in steering or tilting the way forward for the particular parties.
Absolutely, Pratibha. Another crucial question, the performance of the Siddaramaiah government. It has been in power in Bangalore for the last 10 months. Will the verdict of this Lok Sabha election be also seen as some kind of referendum on the performance of the Siddaramaiah government?
Well, to an extent, yes, because some of the sources do tell me that the Congress government and the schemes that they have introduced, especially with the scheme of this 1 kg rice, will actually eat into the BJP votes. So the BJP government has to really steer the way forward to talk about the schemes that were introduced during the BJP regime, especially when Yediyurappa was the chief minister. The kind of schemes that were introduced with regards to the bicycles that were given out, or the marriage, the money that was given out for girls' marriages. So these are the kind of schemes that will also play in the voters' minds. So they will have to look into whether the corruption or the infighting that happened in the BJP will actually kind of mar their opinion on the BJP government, or will they look into this honeymoon period of the Congress government and see to it that the Congress will actually make its way forward.
Absolutely, Pratibha. Thanks a lot for joining us. In fact, if Siddaramaiah does very well, he could actually emerge as a powerful regional satrap. But if he does not, it's pretty sure that the knives will be out for him. In fact, Balakrishnan, the ex-CFO of Infosys, who's contesting on an Aam Aadmi Party ticket from Bangalore Central, spoke to Pratibha Raman after casting his vote.
Right, I have with me Mr. Balakrishnan, who has just cast his vote today, sir. From dunning a corporate honcho avatar to now a political avatar, you've come and cast your vote. How different has the feeling been?
No, it's a totally different world altogether. It's like comparing Moon and Mars. So in a corporate world, you have a defined set of stakeholders. You know, as long as you take care of their interests, you are true. In a political world, these complexities are bigger, scale is bigger, and every other person can be your stakeholder. It's a different world altogether, but I am enjoying my stint here. We went to most part of the constituency. We explained to people what we can do. And we told them you have to make a choice between three people. One is the absentee MP. Second is a person, a candidate who went with a rowdy sheeter on a campaign. And third is a honest, clean candidate without any criminal case against him. I think people will make the wise choice.
Also, are you banking on the Tamil vote bank that forms quite a big portion of the vote bank here in Bangalore Central?
No, we don't play vote bank politics. For us, everybody is a human being. We need to give dignity back to them. Wherever we go, the problems are basic civic issues missing, whether roads or garbage or footpath or water or power. So we always talked about the local issues and how we can address that and make the life better. We are not in the vote bank politics.
How confident are you now that the ordeal of all the campaigning has come to a close? How confident are you of winning, and what do you plan to do in the next 1 month?
No, we are highly confident. Next 1 month we have to work towards putting a structure in place so that when we get elected, we'll fulfill all the promises we told to the people.
And today, do you see a huge turnout in terms of the voters who've come, especially in this ward? You've been coming here, casting your vote for so many years. What do you think is the difference today?
Well, the voter turnout is very high. I am surprised by the turnover because I had been voting here for many years. I have not seen such a kind of turnout. So I think this time more people will come and vote. That shows that people want change. That shows we are winning.
In fact, now we can go across to Pratibha Raman, who has Puneet Rajkumar with her, who has come to vote.
That's right, Sudhir. Puneet Rajkumar was actually shooting elsewhere in Karnataka, and he's just arrived just to make sure that he can cast his vote today to steer the way forward for the country. In fact, he is right now a little busy. He will be joining us shortly as of now. But before that, let me just actually give you a perspective of the Bangalore North constituency, where we have two gentlemanly candidates, as they are called, which is Sadananda Gowda versus the Congress candidate Narayan Swamy, and both of them having worked from the grassroots level. But then what will work for Narayan Swamy will be the fact that he hails from Bangalore North, and right now I have Mr. Puneet Rajkumar, so thank you so much for joining us. So there is a major question as to whether a person will want the right candidate for the constituency or the right candidate to steer the way forward for the nation. Which one would you be looking at?
I think I'll be looking at the right candidate at this point of time, but it's also important to see who will pursue our nation too.
So most of them who are newbies, especially corporate honchos, making a foray into politics. So these kind of fresh faces, do you think will actually make a revolution in the political system?
Definitely yes, could be, because I think there should be a change, not in the terms of politics though, but there should be a change in our own nation, I guess.
And as a film actor, do you think that there is a Modi wave that is catching up in every different state of this country?
Well, I don't know if... I guess it should be, because I know, I feel there is.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for joining us. So there is Puneet Rajkumar stating that there has to be a right candidate, but also we need to look into the country's national leader who can actually steer the way forward for the country. Back to you, Sudhir.
Yes, Pratibha, Sandalwood choosing to be politically very correct there. Karnataka is often known as the land of political natakas, but having voted today, that's on 17th of April, it will have to wait till the 16th of May to know what the verdict will be in the political theatre of Karnataka. Over to you, Preeti.
Well, thanks, Sudhir. Hope you and Pratibha have voted already. We are going to keep coming back to you for the latest updates there. But we're going to stay on with Karnataka. I'm joined by a panel there. We have a National Affairs Editor, Javed Ansari, who's in the studio with us. We have Mr. Deepak Amin, spokesperson of the Congress. And we are also joined by BJP spokesperson, Ms. Asifa Khan, member of BJP. She's also going to be joining us right here. I'd like to ask the first question to Deepak from the Congress. Deepak, just after the by-elections, the assembly by-elections, there should have been, the Congress in Karnataka should have been basking in this honeymoon period. Why this gloom?
There's no gloom, Preeti. I mean, that's a misunderstanding completely. We are 100% confident of a sweep in Karnataka. If there is one state which will be clear majority, not just majority, but an overwhelming majority for the Congress party is the Karnataka. And the result is there from just 10 months ago, where the corrupt government of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa and the BJP was thrown out.
Javed, do you want to come in at this point of time? Because, on the ground, it doesn't seem that the Congress is actually celebrating. They should have been basking in this honeymoon period, what happened 10 months ago. There is cause for concern, and that's what it seems
Preeti,
like.
There's a slight difference between the Congress and the BJP. We don't have balloons, they have balloons.
Javed, do you want to come in?
If indeed it is true that the Congress is not doing as well as they ought to have been doing in Karnataka, then this should be cause for serious concern for the Congress party. Because Karnataka and Assam are two of the states where they were hoping to do extremely well, in addition to perhaps even Kerala. Because elsewhere the news is not very good, but in these three states.
Exactly.
And it's understandable, they've just won an election. The BJP government was extremely unpopular. It had huge corruption cases pending against them. Their image had taken a battering. So therefore, in just a matter of couple of months, if they've frittered away all the goodwill, then this is a very poor commentary on the Congress.
And the BJP on its own account has completely overlooked all those graft charges by once again welcoming...
Shamelessly brought Mr. Yediyurappa back.
Welcoming Mr. Yediyurappa, Sriramulu back in the fold. Asifa, you do hope that this gamble will pay, won't it? It's come at a cost.
Yeah, we are hoping for the best because Mr. Narendra Modi has been able to reach out across the country very well. The BJP was strong enough in the Hindi belts, and love to poll, you see that the BJP is gaining seats from all the places all over India. South, yes, we were lagging behind, but this is the first time that 25 parties, NDA is 25 plus. So that is a very good symbol for the BJP, and since these are the general elections, people are looking at the candidate, at the prime ministerial candidate. The de facto prime ministerial candidate of the Congress would be Rahul Gandhi, who had had a privilege of being in power for 10 years. But he did not show or perform or take any ministry to come up as a leader for the nation. Whereas Mr. Modi did turn out to be a very good leader with a vision, and the way he has approached and reached out to the people, I think people want a change for the country, and they are looking for hope. The situation which has been created by UPA 1 and UPA 2, the UPA is not coming out with its report card. They should be talking on corruption, on the inflation. They should be
Asifa, sitting and talking about
this country, but
Asifa, sitting and talking at this point of time about corruption, it's a little rich coming in from the BJP unit, especially when in Karnataka you have fielded the likes of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa and Mr. Sriramulu. I'd like to bring in Javed Ansari, our National Affairs Editor, who's in the studio with us. Javed, at this point of time, BSY in itself has a tough task cut out for himself in Shimoga. He has to prove his political dominance where the BJP is concerned. But let's talk about the Chief Minister. Now, Siddaramaiah himself is under tremendous pressure to convert some of these 28 seats, isn't he?
Well, most certainly. Look, in the last time the Congress had 9 out of 28. So any improvement will be a bonus. conventional logic would have it that he should win a majority of the seats. At least that's what the Congress is banking upon. And if he doesn't, then it obviously means that the Modi factor has prevailed over everything else. And based on my experience traveling in these elections, look, nothing else. We can sit in these air-conditioned studios and talk about corruption and value-based politics and women's rights. I'm not so sure if this is what is exciting the voter. The voter, this election is about Modi. You're either for him or you're against him.
Deepak, do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree there's a Modi wave in Karnataka or not?
Absolutely not. I mean, what Javed says is completely right. It is one thing to think that, you know, you look at the morning newspapers, see 3 full-page ads in every newspaper, and then start believing that story. And it's another thing, like Javed said again, to go into the field and understand from the people what the real issues are. And in Karnataka, the real issues have just been decided just 10 months ago, and shamelessly the BJP brought those same issues back in by reinducting the same people they threw out for corruption. And Mr. Narendra Modi brought him back in. So they should know what the results are going to be in Karnataka.
Well, we're going to keep tracking. We're going to keep tracking what's taking place in Karnataka as we speak. And our editor South TS was pointing out brisk voting. All of 28 seats going to polls in the 5th phase of Karnataka. By the day ends, over 16.5 crore voters would have cast their ballot in the biggest round of polling in this 9-phase election. Of the 48 seats, of course, some are going from Maharashtra as well, polling for the 5th phase. I'd like to cut across to our roving editor, Mahrukh Inayat, who's joining us live from Maharashtra.
Preeti, I can't hear you very well, but this is Election Centre West, as you must have told our viewers, and joining me is Clyde Crasto of the NCP. But before I come to Clyde Crasto, I want to tell our viewers that since 7 a.m. this morning, there has been brisk voting. In Maharashtra, some of the biggest political stalwarts are facing the test at the hustings in this phase of the election. Not just the Congress, but also the NCP, Supriya Sule, Ashok Chavan, Sushil Kumar Shinde of the Congress NCP combine. Remember, the last time around, they got 25 seats in Lok Sabha 2009. Will they better that? Well, the sense on the ground is perhaps not. Perhaps not as much, and the BJP Shiv Sena combine might be able to do better this time around. Remember, the Congress NCP combine is facing a collective anti-incumbency of not just the UPA government at the centre, but also the Congress NCP government at the state level. But before we go to Clyde Crasto, let's listen in to some of the sound bites that came in earlier today.
आपने कहा कि यहाँ मोदी फैक्टर नहीं है, सुशील कुमार शिंदे फैक्टर है। किस हिसाब से लगता है कि मार्जिन इंपॉर्टेंट है या जीत इंपॉर्टेंट है इस वक्त?
देखिए, हम हमेशा यहाँ की जनता मुझे विजय प्राप्त करा के देती है, इसी वक्त भी वही हाल है।
तो आपको लगता है कि इस बार आप
I don't want to comment on anything today. Today is a poll day, so it should be a free and fair election. I have cast my vote. As you can see, I have cast my vote along with my family. So I leave it to the people of the Nanded to decide.
The second time you're contesting from this particular seat, certainly the Modi wave, is it affecting you?
I am confident, but I'm not overconfident.
Was development the major issue this election?
Development is always the only issue in this constituency.
And Kamlesh Sutar joins us from Nanded. And Kamlesh, we've been talking about Nanded and Ashok Chavan in particular, because as far as the Congress is concerned, in Maharashtra at least, the very fact that he was given a candidature, given a ticket, despite the taint of the Adarsh scam, was seen to perhaps boomerang against the Congress party. That's one. The second is the recent natural calamity of the hailstorm that was able to badly affect and damage crops in many of these areas. What is the sense on this ground? It's halfway through the day. What is the polling percentage telling you?
Given the enormous heat here in Marathwada region, generally voters here prefer to come out and vote early in the morning. So by 11:30, the poll percentage was around 21% in Nanded. And now coming to the issues in Nanded, Mahrukh, one of the major issues here, as you mentioned, was the Adarsh issue, where the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra is an accused in that case. But if we talk about the ground situation, we have to divide Nanded constituency into two parts, basically Nanded rural and Nanded city. When we spoke to the voters of Nanded in the rural areas, what we sensed was perhaps people in the rural area were not very happy with the Congress's politics, with Ashok Chavan. Adarsh may not be an issue here. The rural areas is not discussing Adarsh issue, the Adarsh train, but they certainly are discussing hailstorm, as you mentioned, the relief package that didn't come in to the farmers, or sugarcane prices for that matter. Ashok Chauhan's family has been in power in Nanded for last 40 years. They have been ruling the cooperative sector here, but in spite of that, farmers here have got little or hardly anything. So that is one issue which may work against Ashok Chauhan. As far as the urban area is concerned, Nanded city, yes, the thinking voter, the educated voters, the urban voter, the thinking voter, they are not, they are discussing about others, they are discussing about corruption, they are talking good governance. So that may work against Ashok Chauhan here in the city. But given the fact that a former Chief Minister of Maharashtra is contesting elections from here, the kind of victory that he should be registering from Nanded certainly looks a very difficult task for Ashok Chauhan. He will have to slog it out here in Nanded.
Okay, Kamlesh, stay on with us, because there were two people for the Congress party who were major embarrassments. One, of course, Ashok Chauhan, who has been given the ticket, but the other, Suresh Kalmadi, who was not given that ticket. Here is Suresh Kalmadi, who had openly opposed the Congress party for not giving a ticket. Let's listen in to him.
हमने हमारा स्टैंड तो क्लियर किया है, तो मुझे लगता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी पीछे 3-4 बार जीती है, तो इस बार भी जीतेगा।
बता रहे कुछ अंदरूनी कला इसकी वजह से कांग्रेस का पक्ष थोड़ा कमजोर नजर आ रहा है इस बार।
मुझे नहीं लगता
सर, एंटी इनकम्बेंसी का कितना असर यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, और मोदी लहर का क्या करता है?
मैं इधर तो कुछ देख नहीं रहा हूँ, यहाँ कैंडिडेट है इधर, दिल्ली में देखते हैं क्या होता है।
And Clyde Craster of the NCP is joining me here at the Election Centre West. Clyde, as far as Suresh Kalmadi is concerned, didn't the NCP have reservations about somebody like him and Ashok Chauhan being given the tickets? He hasn't, but Ashok Chauhan has. Don't you think it would have boomeranged against the campaign of zero corruption or zero tolerance towards corruption?
Well, that's the Congress's issue.
No, but you're in a combine together.
Yeah, but you know what happens is when you're in an alliance, sometimes when your alliance partner takes certain decisions, you have to go by it. But that's an internal matter.
Perhaps that's because Ajit Pawar also has a scam against him.
There's no scams against us. He's got a clean sheet. There was a white paper. So I think you're just digging deep and looking at speculations. But I don't see any kind of problems there.
Okay, let me ask you. Today, Supriya Sule, earlier today when she cast a vote, she came out and said, "I'm confident, but not overconfident." What did that mean?
Well, that shows a sign of someone who is intelligent and knows what she's talking.
Maybe circumspect that the Congress NCP combine won't do as well.
No. It's not that. Being confident and being overconfident, two things. Being confident is being positive. Being overconfident is being negative. And I think she's a very positive person, because I'll tell you something. She said something very nice and very, something that goes with the times. What she meant or what she said a few days ago was, development does not just mean building roads and bridges and infrastructure.
No.
I'm trying to tell you something about her. I'm trying to tell you something. Development also means. No, I'm not getting into Supriya. No, I'm not praising her. I'm just trying to tell you when she says by being confident. What she means to say is, education is a big part of development. So when someone who speaks like that will always speak positive, and being confident is being positive.
Okay, being confident is being positive is what Clyde Craster says. But I have to say one thing about the NCP and Preeti. I'm sure you've heard all those comments by Sharad Pawar when he has openly shopped or looked at Narendra Modi as a possibility and then gone back the second day and said that he's a mass murderer. So the NCP, being the junior partner in Maharashtra of the Congress party, has always been openly shopping. But I'll hand it back to you, Preeti.
Thank you, Maruk. Thank you. 358 candidates today in Maharashtra are going to polls. There are 19 seats of the 48. But to give our viewers perspective on how Maharashtra fared in 2009 Lok Sabha results, I'd like to just take you through this graphic that we have on this video wall. Congress 17 of the 48, NCP 8, BJP 9, Shiv Sena 11, Independents 3. Well, will they be able to repeat that? Only time will tell. That's the last vote which gets counted on May 16th.